You were asking for cows. Be careful what you ask for, you may get it.
84 ghats in a row. No other city on any river bank had that long series of ghats. That is the beauty of our city. And not only ghats, they are all adjacent with beautiful buildings, temples, palaces, monasteries. So that we are going to see this evening and also tomorrow morning. So please, you walk further. Never ever in one pyre more than one body gets cremated. Always every dead body gets cremated separately on separate pyres. So there you see each pyre is a separate cremation which is going on there. I have explained you in brief how cremation takes place. The first thing, if you remember, they are going to wash the dead body in river water. So that group who is coming down on the steps, they are carrying a dead body to the river to wash it. They have just arrived with that body. So now we are too close. So please, no more pictures. Which has a name, AARTI, Aarti ceremony. This Aarti ceremony through which the priest, Hindu priest, on behalf of all of us are going to pay thanks to Mother Ganga and put Mother Goddess Ganges to sleep. And before that they request Mother Ganga and Shiva to bless all of us and destroy our negative thinking, negative forces. The young Hindu priests, they are going to sing a religious hymn through which they are going to take symbolic permission from Mother Ganga to allow them to start the prayer. And then they will blow conch shell, they will burn incense, they will burn frankincense and myrrh, and they will light oil lamps. So these are the major steps. They are Brahmin priests. Those boys who are standing on those podiums, dressed in orange, 5 of them. After this, they will come up with oil lamps. That will be the highlight of this prayer. Because we know what is happening on the place, so it is hard to understand who is doing what. So we are going now to another particular ghat, there we will get out. Go close, stand somewhere there. ladies, they are selling twigs from a tree called neem tree, which are widely used as toothbrush. They have lots of neem twig. That is a tree called neem tree. It has lots of medicinal properties in it. The biggest medicinal property in a neem tree twig, it controls the sugar level in our blood. So people, those who are regularly using these twigs as toothbrush, they have a very less chance of suffering from diabetes. And then we have coin sellers. As pilgrims, they come with an intention also to start the day with a good karma. And they keep distributing coins among these beggars who are sitting on the steps of the ghat. Yesterday evening, these were the two spots where we saw the evening prayer. We were on the boat, and this was one, and we saw the other one on the other ghat, where the priests were performing the evening prayer. As these are the most busy spots or the most important ghats, so from early morning till late evening, all the religious activities, they keep taking place here. And the biggest thing here, why people they come over here in a big number, number one, these are the two ghats which are easily accessible. As a pilgrim, when they come to Varanasi, they are also tourists like you. So they cannot walk through the narrow lanes of the city. They need someone. And another big thing, when a pilgrim comes to Varanasi, not necessarily they have friends or relatives in the city, but their intention is to take dip in the river. Who will watch their belongings? The priest. And where they can find a priest? You see those umbrellas on your left hand side? Those are the seat of the priest. So under these umbrellas, you will find priests. Pilgrims, they go to them, they wash their belongings, and obviously, as I told you, priestism in Hinduism is a profession.
Yeah. Watch it.
The ghat is new. All are real old buildings. Yeah, they keep painting them. Here you can see pilgrims, devout Hindus. Their intention to come to Varanasi is to take dip in the river, because it is considered not a regular bathing.
Yes, because it's only or also to defend themselves, like when they watch.
So these palaces are slowly getting converted into hotels and guest houses. Telling you about that this is the center for sitar. So Pandit Ravi Shankar was born here in Varanasi, the great sitar maestro. Pandit Ravi Shankar met George Harrison in this rest house. So George Harrison, when he came to Varanasi in 70s, that was the time when in India hippies movement was there. So many of these famous people who also led the life of a hippie came to India, and many of them visited Varanasi. So George Harrison stayed in this guest house. Every single year, where you see again it is written on a pinkish background, Raja Ghat, straight in front. That is the level the water rises every year that high. Wow. So a question arises, how clean is this river water?
Yes.
The biggest thing, what you have seen, that is more important. There is no bad smell, there is nothing which you can say really bad for your health because of melting of snow in the mountains of Himalayas. And that fresh water is in a huge amount. So that makes everything flow further and the water remains good, not bad for our health. And the biggest proof that this water is good, not bad for our health, you can find marine life in this river water. That's a beautiful Shiva temple up there. That's a typical South Indian Shiva temple, and that is why here you see more South Indian pilgrims. That big building is an electric crematorium, but no Hindu prefers to cremate dead body of their loved ones in electric crematorium or in gas crematorium. The reason, we religiously believe until and unless the chief mourner is not lighting the pyre, the soul will not rest in peace. Things are different in other cities, in big towns, but still in Varanasi or in religious cities, people prefer wood cremation, though it is at least 10 times more costlier than electric or gas crematorium. Every Hindu, after taking dip, you have seen people either pouring water out of their pot, or sometimes they take water in they cup their hand and take water and then pour it out. And they keep chanting a certain hymn in the name of sun god Surya.
Why is the face covered?
Many people, they laugh also. That you might have seen. People laughing in the morning hours loudly. So that is called laughing yoga.
I like to do that.